Hey, what's up everybody? Jason here. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for checking it out. So I'm going to do a 6 to 7 month update on the Sire S7 FM. So I normally don't do guitar reviews, so I'm going to take two perspectives for this. One is my primary use is studio work for my own independent music. I've used this on 2 releases so far. You can check those out in the description. And then I also play with a cover band as well. So we practice, well, we try to practice once a week. Haven't practiced as much over the last few weeks as I would like to. So we'll do, I don't know, 2 to 3 to 3.5 hour practice sessions once a week. And so how is it held up in those situations? The specs for this guitar are in the description below. I'll just give you a quick update on what the specs are. So this does have locking tuners, a bone nut, Avalon fret dots. It's got a rolled fret edge, which I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up or not, but it's very, get my face out of the way. Yeah. So it's very, very clean and comfortable to play. Roasted maple neck, flame top, which, I mean, even just look-wise, good God. I fucking love this thing. I walk by this thing every day. I give it a hug. I give it a kiss. I tell it that I love it. It's very unhealthy, the obsession that I have with this thing. I love it so much. So the other specs, it's an HSS design, so humbucker, single. This is the V2 version, so I think it was end of 2022 they came out with the V2 version, and mostly cosmetic. So it had these ivory pickups instead of black, which was on the previous one, ivory switches and hardware, and the functional feature was being able to split the humbucker with the tone knob. So that's pretty handy as well. I actually thought I got a Frankenstein guitar. I had to email Sire and say, this doesn't match the specs, so what the hell happened? I'm not upset about it because that's pretty awesome that it has that. And they said, no, that's their new V2 versions of this that have been updated. So comparing it to the competition, spec-wise, this blows away Fenders that are $500 more. Now, like I said, in Canada, I paid $10.49 for this, and now they're $11.49 in the US on their website. They're $700 US, and they are showing sold out across the board, so they're very difficult to find. And again, here in Canada, the Player Plus, which is probably the closest, but still, you get a plastic nut and you don't get locking tuners with the Player Plus. It's $15.95 Canadian typically. I did check this morning. Sweetwater has their Player Plus Strats on sale for $9.99. So this is still $300 cheaper, even when the regular, what would kind of be competition for this, are on sale. So I tried every S-style guitar. I got this at London Guitars because they're the only ones that actually had it. So went into London Guitars. They showed that they had this model in stock, wasn't hanging on the shelf. So the dude went into the dungeon to try to find the thing. So I started with the Sire Telecaster first, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. But I wasn't like, oh, this is great, I have to take this home. And while the dude was digging stuff out in the dungeon, I tried every S-style I could get my hands on. I tried a variety of Squier models. I tried, obviously, the Player Plus, a regular Fender Strat, the 100th anniversary Strat. Yamaha makes an S-style guitar. I don't remember the model number. I'll try to remember to put that up on screen. But I tried, 10 to 15 different Strat models, and then dude brought this, and I sat down and just played it once and just went, wrap it up. That's how perfect this thing felt for somebody like me. So competition-wise, I don't think this is a good bargain guitar. I think this is a phenomenal guitar at any price, and this absolutely, in my opinion, destroys Fenders that are $500-600 more. Okay, so reliability and dependability has been flawless so far. Like I said, I use this mostly in the studio, and if you're recording your stuff at home, you know how important tuning stability is from session to session, so you don't waste your time having to tune things. And my other two guitars, they do slightly go out of tune. The PRS that I have will go out every once in a while if I'm playing aggressive. So if I'm playing, you know, like a really... like something really hard like that, the PRS will slightly go out of tune, or, you know, with like crazy bends. The PRS will go out a tiny little bit. The Gibson, I just looked at it, so it's probably out of tune already, but it's been solid and it's been flawless in playing with the cover band as well. So we play a kind of a mix of 70s and 90s rock, so we might play some chuggy stuff, you know, some never goes out of tune, ever. I'm pretty sure I could drop this thing from the International Space Station if it's still up there, and it would still stay in tune. Maybe I'll try that. Let's see how dependable this thing is. Sounds good. Okay, nitpicks. I really got to dig down deep into the nitpick bag to find a couple of things. You could argue, and some people have noticed this in my other videos, the tone and the volume knobs are reversed. I don't know if you can see it there. So you could say, well, if they missed that, then what other quality problems are lurking underneath? Who cares? I'm not even going to bother to switch them because I think it's funny that they set them up that way. So if, you know, your perception of bad quality is if they can't even get the knobs in the right spots, maybe there's a quality problem, but for me, not a big deal. And getting really, really nitpicky, if you're a big player with the tremolo, so I've got this thing pretty loose, you need the little Allen key to tighten it, which isn't, who cares? I do have another guitar that has the little screw on top of it, so if you like to play with it loose, you can, on the fly, you can just loosen it, and then you can get the, you know, this, or you can get do these types of things, and then you can tighten it if you are a finesse player and you use it a lot and you like to keep it locked in this position. You'd have to get an Allen key and put it in that position and leave it there, which is not a big deal because you could still push it out of the way. It's not like it's going to be stuck frozen there forever. But like I said, that's like super, super, super duper nitpicky. So depending on your playing preference. Another thing I would say, which is mostly user error, and it's because of how I play, I typically rest my hand down here when I play. So particularly with the live band, not so much in the studio. But if we're playing a song and I'm singing and playing, I'm usually focused on singing or whatever, and I'm not paying attention to how I'm like this, and then I might end up, in some cases, because of the controls being so close here, I've actually turned the volume down a couple of times just because of how my playing style is. And if I'm doing the same thing where I've got the switch selector and, you know, one of the top positions up here, sometimes I'll knock it down by accident. And like I said, that's very nitpicky, and that's user error. I can fix this by, hey, dummy, move your arm up. So not a big deal, but still something that I just noticed just because of how my playing style has evolved. And the last thing I would say, they're not noiseless pickups, so the neck pickup, if you're playing with high gain and you're playing lead parts, there is more buzz and hum on this one than there is on my PRS. I don't know if maybe that's a grounding issue. I'm not sure. It's not overwhelmingly loud, but just something to be aware of if you're expecting noiseless, you know, neck pickups. That's not what these are. These are Sire Super ST pickup set. That's all they give you. They don't tell you anything else about the pickup design. But those nitpicks aside, which are not really problems at all, it's mostly user error on my part, still, you know, I still love this thing and it would highly recommend it. Okay, so should you buy this guitar? That's very, very difficult to say because it depends on your own individual situation, what your budget is like, what you're using it for, and a bunch of other factors. So I did do a quick poll where I was asking people, would you buy a guitar online without having played it? And 70% of the people said no, that would be absolutely insane. Now, I didn't get a lot of responses. I think I got like 10 or 12 or something like that. So not a wide variety. But I'm in that same camp. There's no way I would buy a guitar online without playing it, unless you could return it for free, no problem, because these are very, very difficult to get. They're showing sold out on the Sire website. London Guitars, where I bought this one, all their models are showing sold out as well, so you might have to order one if you want one. So I would say if you're in a position like me where you write and record your own music at home, or maybe you do guitar covers and you want something that has versatile sounds, happy to recommend this. If you are a gig player, you're probably not watching this video anyway because you're a more advanced player than I am anyway, but dependability and tuning stability has been flawless, so I'd have no problems recommending this if you do plan on playing live. The most important thing I think is, how does the thing make you feel? The guitar player in my previous band, where we were out for some drinks, and he said he picked up something at a garage sale, used store, something like that. And he said, I looked at that guitar and it looked like it had more stories to tell. I think he bought an acoustic, beat up acoustic that, he had to repair. And I kind of looked at him like, are you mental? But I get it with this. I get it. Because like I said, I walk by this thing every day in my studio and I pat it on the head and tell it that I love it. It's pretty sickening and unhealthy. But I absolutely just love this thing, and I totally get that this thing has stories to tell. So some of the things that I've written, I don't want to say they're because of the guitar, but this whole thing about just how this feels, how it makes me feel when I'm playing it, how it looks and everything, that might sound nuts to some people, is really the reason why I would recommend this, because it makes me want to play more. And it's not too terribly expensive. So that's it for this 6-month review. Drop a question below if you have any questions specifically about this guitar, and I'll do my best to answer them. I do have another guitar review that's coming out soon. You might have noticed it in the background, and that's going to be coming out pretty soon as well. So hit like and subscribe if you want to check that out. Thanks for watching. Let's see how dependable this thing is.